long. And again, this is all unedited, so hopefully it's not that bad. Hopefully you can tolerate with this. But this is a good time to talk about the job. So I'll separate this into another video, which is perfect. So when you get a new job, you click on the skill panels, you unlock the job according to the seats. Not according to seats, but each panel here gives a little bonus to the job. So you use seeds to unlock unlock each panel. You can click auto unlock, it'll unlock all. Unlock this last one down here, and then you can move to the next panel. Once you get to the fourth panel, you can click this little button right here to go to the 5 to 8s. Do the same thing, unlock all the seeds, pick up that last one. This one's usually costs crystals, so you have to kind of do it manually yourself. And then once you get to 8s, you fully maxed out that job. It has all the panels. Usually get a new new weapon as well. Or in this case, the weapon is here, and then this is just the upgraded version of that job. Okay, so you have an 8 crown job now. And then what I was saying with the last video is that as you do these Hall of Fame maps, which is these purple ones near the top of Act 1, you can pick up more panels to put on these jobs. So Hall of Fame 1 here will give more panels for Warrior, Ranger, Mage, Knight, Hunter, White Mage. So as you go through this map, you'll pick up new panels to put on these jobs. And then here we go, custom skill. So you put more panels, it raises their stats, gives them little unique bonuses, and then it raises their little crown as well. So that's why you'll see some people have 12 or 11. That's just the panels that they put on there. Okay, so we kind of make hopefully that clear, that jobs, and I see the people do ask this, they'll pull a job and they'll say, is this job good? New jobs, again, are generally better than the old ones. So you can see this little tab here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to somewhere 15. So if you pull a job that's way out over here, this is the newest job that we just got, Glamorous Black Mage, or Lulu. She is good compared to a job that is right around here. Generally speaking, she'll be better than a job that is somewhere over here. Not really the best way of judging a job, because every job does have their own little specialty. They could be a very good breaker, they could be a very good attacker, they could be a good defender. So that's a better way of asking, what is this job good at? That is the better question to ask. Every job has some usage. Some of the jobs near the middle kind of got they're a little bit outdated, even though they got Hall of Fame. And that's just again because either newer jobs are released, or they're adding maybe more buffs to some of the other jobs. So generally jobs though, from right about here, anything in this section are really pretty useful. So hopefully that helps with understanding if a job is good. Every job has some usage. The end game, Endless War, you'll need a lot of jobs for that, so having more jobs is always a good thing. Similar to that question, another common question is this card good? So kind of the same way, you can go into your ability shop, and if you sort them by newest to oldest, generally, again, just generally, a lot of people are going to say something about this, just generally, the newer cards are better than the older cards. So cards in this upper section up here are going to be better than these old cards. I'll scroll way past down here. So some of these cards you might have as a starter, either from Novice or something. These are cards from 3 years ago. So these cards are not used by anyone. No one uses these cards. not for any game, that's for sure. And you'll see yourself, a lot of these cards, Ares gives a single target fire attack. You can buy some cards in the shop This refers to the EA cards that I mentioned if you watched the last videos. Early access cards basically were in the summoning, and then eventually they'll come up they'll be in the ability shop that you can buy with ability tickets. So you can purchase, for example, Minotaur, and you can already see from a single target to an area attack, that's going to be a lot better. And then the attack power is higher as well. So a lot of the newer cards are going to be better than the older cards. And in addition, a lot of the limited time cards are better than most of the cards in the ability shop. So limited time cards, I mentioned that as the #1 thing to pull for. First release, limited time. A lot of them have a lot of usage for a long time. Let me see if I can find one here. Limited time card. Okay. These are anniversaries, so I'm not going to count those. Okay, we'll just take this one. We're kind of near the top here, but R&R was a limited time card, extremely useful. And one of the main reasons is that the limited time cards, they're unique. They're unique in terms of maybe what they do. They have some ability like shifting orbs or adding a force to cards, adding a force. Or their stats are just much higher than the other cards. So limited time cards are good. If you want to read, it'll say it right here as well. This is a special limited time card compared to something else such as this card. It'll just have some regular information. This rare card can be attained through summoning. So limited time cards, again, usually there'll be a little text that'll say something like that. And they are just generally, they have a much longer lifespan. They're still used to this day. Aside from limited time cards, you probably heard me toss around the phrase a few times, but we have Supreme cards. So Supreme cards are the top of the line, top tier, can't beat them. There's nothing better than them. Supreme cards will always be good. They have a little star next to them. I guess it also says here this is a Supreme card, but it's gonna be a little rainbow star. So if you pull a Supreme cards, you'll never run out of usage for it. They can be used. Support cards especially can be used on any job. If you have a specific one that's like let me pull up one like a warrior dark card, then you're a little bit more limited. You have to use a warrior job, but it will be useful later on, even if you don't have the job now. So that's just a rough idea of which cards are good. What else? This is a common question as well. When you get a Supreme card, you're going to be wondering how to level up its ability. So let's say you just pulled a Supreme card. And the first thing you'll probably have to do is you have to augment the card. So I guess I'll go over this as well. Hopefully this is not, you can kind of skip over this if you're familiar with it. So when you start with a card from the summoning, they'll start at 3-star, and then you have to augment them to 4-star, and then from 4-star you have to augment them to 5-star. Some cards you can augment up to 5-star, but I think most of them nowadays you can augment to 5-star. And these all take materials. Materials you can farm on. Probably you can get most of a good amount just going through the story, but otherwise that's when you have to start clearing some of these other maps to get materials. A few maps like Yggdrasil materials does have these kind of materials. So if you're looking for one in particular, like Fiery Gem to augment fire cards, you can pick them up on this Yggdrasil materials map. In terms of what cards to augment, that's a tough question. It's a really tough question. Supreme cards, first and foremost, yes. If you get a Supreme card at 4-star, augment it to 5-star, you'll never you always have some use for the Supreme card. Other than that, it might be better just to kind of ask someone to maybe look at your cards and then see if it's worth augmenting. From 3-star to 4-star, they require growth stars, and growth stars is it's a more difficult one to come by. So you want to be selective with which ones you're augmenting from 3-star to 4-star. Supreme also uses growth stars. From 4-star to 5-star, they use Pneumas and these little bulbs. In my opinion, these are more easier to get. There are places you can get them just doing story, so it is much more easier to get these and farm them. So you can be a little bit more flexible with what cards to augment from 4-star to 5-star. I mentioned so once you augment the card, that's just the rarity. Next thing you have to do is fuse the cards. So fusing a card, basically think of it as enhancing the card. You'll have the skill seeds. Skill seeds are basically when you have it in your deck, that's going to be the seed that you get at the end of the battle. So right now it's that you'll get 4 light seeds, and you'll get 4 dark seeds at the end of a battle. And then basically you want to increase that. You'll stockpile on materials, but these little green cactars, those raise these skill seeds. So it's going from 1 up to 7 at a 100% rate. And it even tells you so. There we go. So now I get 10 light seeds at the end of every battle. Not too important, but I might as well explain that early on. The next thing is the ability level. So that's what this is over here. So right now, this ability, the ability will always stay the same, but as you level up the level, you unlock more skills. Extra skills is what they're called, extra skills. And extra skill basically are little things that just makes the card better. So for example, this enhances the HP that you get restored by 10%. This extra skill right here makes this ability cost 0 actions. We'll get into that later on when we talk about battle mechanics. Enhanced boons. The boons are harder to expel. It creates 1 life orb when you use it, so you get these little extra skills. So you definitely want your abilities to be at max ability. Now normally you can fuse the same, let's say if you have the same card, if you have the same card, you can fuse that card into the card and that will raise the ability level. But for Supremes, you have to use ability tickets. So you're going to click on this little icon on the top right, select mode. You have to use ability tickets. That's the only way. So you want to stockpile as well a good amount of ability tickets early on, because you want to make sure you have enough to level up this ability. This adds 1 level, this just adds all. It adds up to be the same. If you do this 5 or 6 times, it's going to add up to be this. So we'll leave it at that for this. So these are all dark right now, and that's because I'm level 1. So this, I'm not able to unlock these until I get to level 6. So I'll go ahead and showcase that. It also maxes the skill seeds, so you don't have to waste time doing the whole cactars. So usually you only want to do this with Supremes, but if you feel like you have a lot of ability tickets and you want to do it for your other cards, this is just a fast way to do it. Okay, so now KOTR has level 6. These become a lighter shade, so it's more like a lighter shade so you can see them. And basically this just means that it's ready to be unlocked, but you haven't unlocked it. To unlock them, you have to just use this card in battle. So as you use this card in battle, let's say 10 times, you unlock this. And then once you use another 10 or 15 times, you'll unlock the second one, and so forth until you unlocked all 6. If you feel like you really want to just jump forward, you don't want to especially some cards that have damage limit break. So for example, we'll take this card. This card right here, damage limit break, is the fourth one. If you want to unlock this, you have to unlock this one to do more than 9999 damage. So if you're familiar with Final Fantasy, a lot of there's limit break. So a lot of these attack cards are limit break to only doing about 10,000 damage until you unlock this fourth extra skill. Then it'll do more than 10,000 damage. So if you feel like you want to unlock that early on, then what you can do is you can fuse extrangers. And extrangers are also kind of easy to come by. It's this little light bulb here. They do appear in the item shop. I mentioned that, the guild item shop. So you can just purchase these as well. It's pretty cheap. And fusing an extranger, you can do more than one at a time. Boom, you get that extra skill. So now I'm at 2. I'm at 2 out of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. So I can just use the card in battle, or I can use an extranger, which is like a fast way of just unlocking these. So be sure to favorite your cards if there's a good Supreme card, limited time card. The other category of cards is called EX cards. Those are also really rare, so you want to make sure you favorite those so you don't accidentally sell them. EX card, I'll pull one up, looks like this. It'll say this is a limited time EX card, and it'll say you're not able to purchase these in the ability shop, so be careful with selling. So they try to give you some notifications. Not too many people read them, but as you play the game, you'll know what cards are what card, and what cards are good and what cards aren't good. So let me go over a few more good cards maybe that we can purchase. So as you're starting the game, throughout the first 30 days, you'll eventually want to pull the 5 starter packs. And if there's a limited time first release banner, definitely do a few pulls on those. Just ask around Discord or subreddit. Just ask if the banners worth pulling on, things like that, so you can get a good idea. In the ability shop, right now is the year of 2020, New Year, so they give, everyone should have, I think, one for free. If not, you can purchase the Rat 2020, and this is a good card for farming. So I'll get into farming probably the next video. We're gonna go over how to set up a proper deck, as well as battle mechanics, and how to farm efficiently. But this is a good card. It's not used for battle, but it's more for giving you more EXP and more gil. Gil I talked about, very easy to get. It's because of cards like this. Generally you want to start with the life cards, because life support cards are basically buffs, and you can use them for any job. So you want to have your buffs in game. The free one, I believe that the game gives you in the starter pack, and I'll actually probably should have double checked this early on, but I think it's the Undying. So if you have the Undying, that card's fine. Toss that in your setup. Otherwise, purchase this little girl, Pollen Salta. Pollen Salta, I say, it's a very good card to buy. You can purchase her at 8 and then level her ability up separately, or you can just buy her at 98 max boost. When you click on this button, it basically maxes the ability for you, the ability card, not the ES, but the ability level. Pollen Salta, I think that's the only one that you really need right now. All the other cards from the starter packs will kind of get you by early on. And again, I'll talk about the setting up a proper deck in the next video. So there's Discord. I have Discord, in fact, as an overlay, so very useful. You can jump into questions and just ask. For example, Are there any banners worth pulling on right now? Nice and simple. So you can ask questions like that. I think that's a good stopping point here for jobs and cards. Real quick about another job, not another job, about cards. So after you max the ability level and the extra skill, you need to raise the actual level of the card. And you had to finish story, but the max level of card is going to be 80. Might be 60 or 70 for early on. Once you get to a certain level in the game, you can level a card all the way up to 80. And basically it's the same as the EXP that you get to level up yourself. The EXP goes to yourself to level yourself up and these cards. And there's also a feature in the game called Auto Enhance. So Auto Enhance, it looks a little bit, I didn't really like it early on, so I only used it for one feature. And basically, if you just toss a card in here, so I just picked up this one, if you just toss a card in there, it's going to get bonus EXP. So just toss a card in here. As you're doing battles, the card will eventually level up to 80 or 70, wherever you're at, and then you can just take it out. So that's what I use it for. If you click this little wheel, there's more things you can do with it, like leveling up the ability level and skill seed, but I don't use it, so I do everything kind of manually. But it's worth at least putting some cards in here if you're trying to level up early on. The other thing you can do as well is go to your item shop, and it does cost gil, so again, everything worth gil is worth buying. Cards that cost magicite, not worth buying. Do not buy, not worth buying. Items that cost magicite, also not really worth buying. Some people do buy at the end of the month. There's gonna be little packages for elixirs. Some people do buy that. I personally don't. I feel like the game gives you quite a bit, so you don't need to purchase these. And then we'll go over some of the other items later on. But the guild items, back to guild items, you can actually purchase the growing egg, which I'm gonna just double check to see if it is worth buying. Speed. Okay. Okay, so it's still I was gonna say you can use it for EXP, but Rat 2020 does replace that with more EXP and gil. There's also an old card which some people, it should still be in the shop. Boar 2019, also a pretty decent card with EXP and gil. But you might as well get Rat 2020. If this is 2021, buy whatever that is, because that's probably better. So real quick, I will go back to the growing egg. So this is a little farming technique to level up cards faster. You can purchase a growing egg for 2 million. I'm not sure if that is worth it early on if you don't have so much gil. But you can purchase a growing egg. I think you can purchase any of these actually. Any egg is fine for 2 million gil. And what you do is you also just toss it in your auto enhance. Put that egg in there, and it's gonna level up as well. Again, I don't pay attention to this, but as it levels up, if you get that egg up to, you only have to get it up to level 64. So I should have one to show here. Here we go. So if you get that growing egg to 64, so instead of getting a card up to level 80, just getting that egg up to 64, you can fuse that level 64 egg into any card. I'm kind of jumping around a lot here. Don't mind where I'm kind of clicking around, but I'm just showcasing. Here we go. So we have that level 1 card, level 2 now. And if you fuse a level 64 egg into the card, it basically instantly maxes the card. level 80. In other words, someone did the math, someone did the calculations. 64 with an egg is enough to get a card up to level 80. So that's a little shortcut technique if you do feel like you need to level up some of these cards. And the whole point of leveling up cards, I'm going to go over this in the next video, but it's to make your deck level higher. So you can put in your deck a level 1 card and you'll be considered like you have a level 1 deck. But if you put a level 80 card, you'll see that your stats over here. So HP is at 12,800, your magic is at 1,288. It's higher compared to a level 1 deck. You'll have 10,000 HP, 1,100 magic. So that is the whole point of leveling up your cards, is to level up your deck level. So you should almost always have a level 80 deck, so that your stats are nice and high. And I'll go over a good deck setup in the next video.